Why don't you go do something productive?
Relax, take it easy. You've had a busy day.
Mental conflict detected.
Listen, there's a better way to handle this mind loop. I've got something for you. It's the MindFlow Recode Method. Shall we install it? Come, let's do it. Okay, I'm going in. So welcome back, my soul players. So in this video, I'm very excited to share with you guys my MindFlow, the Recode method. This method is a framework that I have personally developed and tested over the last 3 years to help me discover my own limited mind codes, to help me uncover the programs that were running unconsciously in my life for all these years. This isn't just about mindset, it's about becoming the conscious coder of your reality. What if the mind codes and beliefs that you hold are just outdated programs that you never consciously chose? And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to identify these hidden codes, how to confront these hidden codes, and how to rewrite these hidden codes back to your mind's operating system so you can finally stream your life and play your life in real time on your terms. So before we dive in to the 4 steps, level up your experience by grabbing yourself a pen and paper to make notes, because this will increase your retention by 50%. Now, before I break down the 4 steps, I would like to provide you with a few analogies. These analogies will help you understand why this method is so powerful and why the work must be done in the mind before we do anything else in improving our life. The first analogy is a computer analogy. Let's say that you go and purchase a top spec computer. It has the most powerful hardware available today. And then you load it up and you discover it's loaded with Windows 95. It's like a 30-year-old operating system. So what happens? It has limited software drivers. The hardware is crippled by the outdated software. It is unable to recognize the full potential of the hardware. So that means that the software is completely blind to how powerful the hardware is. The potential of this hardware stays dormant and unused until the operating system is updated. So keep this in mind as we move forward. Right, so let me give you another analogy now, something that we use every day. So let's say you go out and buy the latest iPhone 16. Got the top of the spec hardware, it's got powerful processor, camera, Face ID, 5G, Wi-Fi 6, Siri, it's got everything. You load it up. It comes preloaded with the first gen iOS. It's like 18 years old. So you've got iPhone 1 software on the latest hardware. So what happens? It's slow, it's laggy, it's unoptimized software. So you've got no Face ID, you've got no top spec camera, no 4G, no 5G, no Wi-Fi 6, no Siri. It lacks the drivers to recognize the hardware. But why is this? It's because the software must evolve to recognize the hardware, right? Together, they both work in tandem to recognize the full potential. But if something is loaded with an outdated operating system, then the hardware can never be utilized. So keep this in mind as we move forward. But now I hear you asking, what does this have to do with us? So let's find out. So keeping the computer analogy in your mind, let's see how this relates to us. Right, understanding that our mind and body is just like the operating system and hardware. You have the operating system in the mind, and the body is the interface with reality. It's the hardware. The key thing here to understand, if we explore the operating system first, is this operating system was installed without our consent between the ages of 0 to 7, okay? It was installed by society, culture, the government, media, corporations, the education system, family and people. We had no conscious say in what was being installed, right? We are running programs that we never wrote, right? So let's look at the structure of what happened here. So our operating system gets created from the ages of 0 to 7. Let's say that you have a belief folder, you have a thoughts folder, a habit folder, a behavior folder. This all creates your world perception, right? This operating system tells you how to think and what to think. This creates our worldview paradigm and how we see the world, okay? So everyone had an input from this operating system on how we were coded. And within this operating system, we have all these mind code apps. I like to call them the labels and identities. So the first label we get when we're born is our name. and then we've got our nationality. And then we are part of these different identities of our religion, our class, our race, our culture, right? And then we carry all these beliefs about ourselves. I'm an introvert, I'm shy. These are all labels that we have internalized and made part of our identity. But understanding that they don't belong truly to us, it's something that we have coded within us, or we must start exploring where these codes have actually come from. But internalizing all these codes and having these limitations and beliefs, right? Because understanding that you're not broken, right? You're not lazy. You've just been running outdated software that you never consciously chose. So what happens with these codes? They become your drivers in your life. They become your user experience, because this is what you have coded. This is how you basically experience your life. This is how you experience your reality, your perspective, your outlook on life based upon what applications you have running. These applications are mostly unconscious. They just run without you thinking about them, right? And this creates the drivers in your life. So understanding that your current operating system does not define who you really are, we must question what has been installed within us for us to be able to update our operating system and unlock our full potential, okay? The key thing here to understand is that you're not broken, you're not average, you're not lazy, you've just been running outdated apps in your operating system, right? So you're completely blind to your full potential here. So we need to go within and find what's been installed, start removing these apps and finding your true potential. So it's time to stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking whose code am I running? If you want to go deeper about understanding these labels, I've got 2 videos on my channel, The Shocking Truth About Labeling, okay? And the Discover the Hidden Power of Your Inner Child. These will help you go even further into this work and understand where these identities, where these labels actually come from. So before we get into the 4-step method, there's one thing that you must fully understand and adopt before you can start applying this method, right? You need to take on a new role and you need to become the tech support engineer of your mind. You need to own it, code it, and run it, right? You are the coder, the self-aware, higher awareness. Your mind is the operating system, it's the software, and your body is the hardware, the interface with reality. So once you have all 3 in place, then you can go down and start using this flow method. This isn't just mindset work, it is mental system design. What goes in is what comes out. You will only gain full control over your inner world when you take full responsibility for what goes in and out. The mind and body are systems. You are the one who installs the code or lets it run outdated.
Step 1. Find mind codes. Identify the invisible programs controlling your daily experience.
So in this step 1, we need to begin to start finding these limited mind codes, because you can't upgrade your mind's operating system if you don't know what you have installed, okay? So how do we do this? Identify your loops and your triggers. This point is where you become the tech support engineer of your mind. You pay attention, you look and feel for the friction in your daily life. Where are you finding friction? There's 6 areas where you will find friction. So let's have a look. You have mental friction, right? So you're overthinking, you've got self-doubt, inner conflict. You have emotional friction. You feel resentment, you feel guilt, you feel drained. You have spiritual friction, where you feel out of alignment with your inner voice. You're ignoring your intuition nudges. Then you have relational friction, miscommunication, silent tension, and misunderstood. You're feeling misunderstood. Then you have physical friction. You feel fatigued, you get sick often, you feel unrested in sleep, right? And then you have energetic friction. Here, you're pushing, you're forcing, you're controlling, you're over controlling environments and situations. You feel drained in environments, okay? So these are all different areas of friction within your life. This will help you identify the loops and triggers. And here to understand is friction is your feedback. Friction equals feedback. Follow it and it will lead you straight to the outdated programs. So how do we do that? Once you've found the friction, is you need to ask the right questions and get to the source. So activate your self-inquiry method. Asking yourself questions can help you stimulate critical thinking, which acts as a search engine within your mind. This helps you reveal contradictions in one's own belief system and grants you access to your core folders within your mind's operating system. So this self-inquiry method is basically like a search engine within your mind. It helps you critically think. Right, this is the second part of step 1. We must find the friction, ask the question, what belief is driving this behavior or reaction? When you ask this question, be patient, and then your belief folder will be activated. Pay attention, stay aware, and see what comes to your mind, because it's going to go into your operating system and it's going to go and look at the belief folder. And then you will be presented with the limited mind code. The limiting self-worth code is I must always be productive to be worthy. And this is the code we want to recode, okay? So
Load, mind code. Bring the limiting code into conscious awareness.
So we are loading it into our awareness, but this is where most people will stop, because this step actually requires you to be present and requires honesty and conscious attention. It takes actual effort to keep it in your awareness, right? You can't deactivate the code unless you see it running in real time. You need to see it in real time, when it runs in, when it comes in, when the trigger comes in. If you go unconscious and you're not having it in your awareness, then you're not ever going to tackle these codes. Because these mind codes run in our subconscious mind, right? Our beliefs, our habits, all these stuff comes, these apps are our identities. They're autopilot drivers, right? They run unconsciously, and this creates our user experience in our life on a subconscious level. So what do you do here? You have to load it into your conscious mind. You have to keep the code in your awareness. I must always be productive to be worthy. Whenever you feel like this, you need to catch it as it runs. Bring it into your conscious mind and don't fight it. Observe it without judgment. Notice when it triggers, you feel guilty when you take time to rest. You check your to-do list before you even reflecting on how you feel. You're constantly busy but rarely fulfilled. You adequate your self-worth with your productivity and criticism from others. Notice when these triggers come in and you start feeling like this and this code is popping up. And the key thing here to remember is your awareness is the software debugger. If you stay conscious of the patterns, okay, the code loses its grip. And that's what we want. We want to be free. We want to be free from running these apps on autopilot. We want to be conscious of what we're running. We want to be conscious of what we're streaming in our life day to day.
Step 3. Optimize mind codes. Shift your emotional and energetic state to align with the new code.
Optimize the code, don't fight it. We shift it, we update it. So this step isn't about mindset, it's about state. You must align your mind, body, and energy with your own truth, right? Your own new truth. Start with what feels right to you right now. Not what was installed by society and other people, but what resonates with you from within, right? The answers will emerge from within you when you ask yourself these questions. Sit with it. And then optimize your inner state, right? Using the PBE tools. Posture, breath, and energy alignment. Stand up or sit up, right? Breathe, take 3 conscious deep breaths, and then energy alignment. Your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and feel the new code. You're not just reciting the words, you're anchoring the signal into your nervous system. Say this out loud or silently 11 times. The self-worth recode. My worth isn't in what I do, it is in who I am. Let this repetition land deeper into your system. As we go through this, you let your body feel it as truth, okay? Because the code won't stick in your mind if it hasn't been felt in your nervous system.
Step 4. Write back mind codes. Reinforce the new code through daily repetition, expression, and action.
We write back to the operating system. You're not just thinking differently, you are feeling and living from a new internal truth. Your mind and body are aligned. The unrecognized potential has been recognized. So what do you do here? You have your new empowering self-worth code. My worth isn't in what I do, it is in who I am. Grab the file. Paste it into your belief folder, okay? Pasted it in. What happens? Boop, boop. Just like an operating system. Boop, boop. Self-worth code already exists. Do you want to replace this new code? Yes, we do, because we don't want the old one. So what happens? I click replace. You get a pop-up. It requires the ICC plugin tool, right? This is where most people hesitate, but this is where the code will stick, because you need to have intention, you need to have commitment, and you need to have consistency. These are all three attributes of this plugin, right? When you have intention, you have chosen to install a new belief within your operating system. Commitment, you stay conscious of the code when it resurfaces. And you need consistency. You need to run this new code until it becomes your default, right? It overwrites the old code because the old code has been running there for so many years. You need to have this intention, commitment, and consistency. This is where people stop. This is where they hesitate and then default back to their old codes. This is why it takes conscious effort. This is why it takes work. It's just not a quick fix. You can't just replace the file and that's it, it's done. It needs this tool. It needs the ICC. So how do you do this? You write back daily, okay? You speak it, you live it, and you repeat it. Use whiteboards, use affirmations and journaling to reinforce the code. The goal is to turn your conscious choice into your subconscious program. Once your new empowering code runs automatically, you've programmed your system, you're done. And this is with all the other codes that you need to get rid of. That's the power of this flow method. Once you start going in and start doing this is why it's taken me over 3 years to find these codes and be conscious of it and bring it to the surface and bring it out and recode it and all this stuff. This takes effort. It's not a quick fix. This is where most people just give up. But if you use this framework, use this tool that's personally worked on me, and I can see it working on a lot of people, just take it and try it, test it, and be intentional with it, and just commitment and consistency, and you'll start to see your life change. So that was the last step. So that wraps up the MindFlow Recode method. If this method resonated with you, consider downloading the free printable MindFlow poster to help you keep this system in your awareness. You can print it out, keep it wherever you want, where you can see it, and this will help you keep the steps visible and you're actively having the steps coded into your mind so you can pick up and go, oh, the code is running, da 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 da. Link in the video description down below if you want to download that. Most people are running outdated software and beliefs they never chose. But with this method, you become the coder. You find the code, you load it in your awareness, you optimize the state, you write it back into your mind's operating system. You don't just think differently, you become different. A lot of work goes into these videos, so if you found this video helpful, please help me out by giving it a like. Drop your biggest limiting mind codes in the comments down below. What belief do you want to rewrite next? Hit that subscribe button if you want to stay notified. Let's solve and evolve together, my soul players, and I'll catch you in the next level. Goodbye.